Certified Board Lesson 2024. All right, my question is, the line between two people when they're fighting, what do you call this line? And then what mechanisms do you use to define it? I'm assuming, so don't make an ass of me or you, that the surface of the body pointed at the person, that outermost surface, which is called the wound line, and then somewhere in between. All right, so if I'm standing here and I turn like this, there's a line that comes from my side out. And if my opponent moves over there, I'll use the marker to draw the lines for us. Hey you, and if they move over here, that line that I've just drawn on the board would change. If you are now my person, I haven't changed, right? But now that line is over here. It is the line that is the average of all of the lines that go in between the two people. And if you look up center line and central line, they do refer to all of the ways we use it in our Wing Chun dialogue. So there is a central line with a rotating axis. And then since our attacks go in a rotation or two rotations, there is a central line of each arm, yes? And then there's an average of those, right? And then I could punch above and below. So there's an average of those. Next, this guy is what we call squared up, and he's slightly off square so we can see it. And then his hips somewhere down in there under his giant belly. Yeah, and we call that square because the hips and shoulders move in unison. I'm moving my hips, I know it's on camera, okay? And then this gentleman, his hips and his shoulders are not square. All right, so his hips are at 45 degrees and his shoulders are at 90 degrees. This gentleman, his hips are at 90, what would we call that? 0 and 0. His hips are at 0 and 0. And if he turns, they turn in unison. WT guy. Other people over here. VT. Which one do you want to do, VT? So down here is what really matters. So I'm going to get into this in some later dialogue. If I look at my energy from my step, it's moving in a direction. And on either side of that energy, I have opportunity, all right? And then we can turn that sideways too. So as I penetrate out, I have opportunity to the sides, and I have opportunity above and below. And if you make a circle around both of those, there's a cone. So this is going to represent our cone. And now, if I have to take energy in from the side, all right, so let's say my attack got to continue, but this one had to bend over to deal. It has to bend over to deal with the the hook answer, right? So I've got to go like this to deal with the force coming in, right? And I keep my force. So if I want to keep my punch on the line that I have with my step, right? My step is the center, right? The step. Step is the center of our movement. So that could be our center line. And then as you move over, this becomes the center line too. Center of what? So when that happens, this is the hit. That is the center of what? Your block. So if you're describing your center line theory and your center line turns to make your block stronger, yep, it's a blocking style. Celebrate it. Center line, that is the middle of everything. Okay.
If I left, then it made no sense. And you tell your friends, and they hold your hands. Baby, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. What if I left, then it made no sense. And you tell your friends, and they hold your hands. Baby, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind.